There's been a new study presented by a team of scientists from France and Australia following a bit of careful study and analysis that they did that's been presented in the journal called Medicine and Science in Sport and Exercise. And what this team of scientists have done is they've been looking at the major craze of fat-adapted running that has been going around the world these days.
CoachEdu.net.
And what they've noticed is people that have been going onto a fat-adapted running program tend to have a lowering of their performance output. Yes, there are benefits that come through in the terms of endurance. In other words, they start burning more fat during the earlier part of their runs rather than waiting until they've completely bunked in terms of their muscle glycogen stores. But what they find is that the adaptation that allows them to run longer also results in them running slower, seeing that they're running on fat rather than glycogen reserves, which burn at a very higher rate and allow for higher, or should I say, faster paces. So what this team of scientists have been doing with a group of athletes is working out the optimum mix of glycogen replenishment versus fat adaptation within the training cycle to be able to give the optimum performance out the other end in terms of both endurance and speed. And what they've tended to find is, in terms of their training, is what they call a sleep low cycle. So in other words, you do your fat adaptation during your sleep cycle. And the way they did it is getting up in the morning in your normal fasted state. You would have your early morning run, which would be, and your early morning run being done at aerobic threshold pace, low pace, slow pace, which is your fat adapted running speed, your fat burning efficient running speed. And following that early morning slow aerobic pace, fat burning type of pace of running workout, you then have a breakfast that is lower in carbohydrate. What these athletes did was they had their low carbohydrate breakfast followed by their fat burning running, which keeps them within that fat burning, fat adapted type of physiological space. Then what they'll do is, for their lunchtime meal, they'll have a lunchtime meal that's higher in carbohydrate. So which means that they've been in this sort of almost ketosis type of space through the course of the morning. Feed them carbohydrates at lunchtime, which then really quickly replenishes the blood, muscle and liver glycogen levels. Then their late afternoon workout will be a high intensity interval hill repeat track work type of really high intensity type of workout, which is the type of workout that run where you're burning just about solely your glycogen reserves. So they burn the glycogen, so top up the glycogen at lunchtime, burn the glycogen during the course of their afternoon workout, and then have a lower carbohydrate supper, which keeps them in the lower carb state for their fat adapted sleep cycle overnight. However, it must be mentioned that this is a diet protocol that was worked out with a group of elite level athletes. And with a group of elite level athletes, you must remember that performance on the track, performance out on the road, on race day, is the number one criteria. What happens to their health long term in terms of adapted thermogenesis is completely off the table. Everything boils down to performance on the day, which is why when it comes to you and I in the street, the type of athletes that I work with on a day-to-day basis, the people that are wanting to remain healthy and lean long-term, I do not advocate this type of a nutrition approach. This type of nutrition approach is for marginal gains, for when a couple of seconds per kilometer in a marathon means the difference between $1 million paycheck and going home empty-handed. So if you're wanting to be healthy and lean long-term, then make sure you're following a whole food, plant-based nutrition system that cuts out the animal protein, that cuts out your saturated fats, so that you can have a healthy cholesterol balance within your system and you can remain healthy long term. That's my take on the matter. Post any comments, questions, criticisms you have in the comment section down below. Don't forget to share this video out amongst your friends. Thumbs up if you like the content, and remember, hit the subscribe button. Stay subscribed for all the new content that will be coming out to you daily. Remember, stay carved up for the win. See you next time. Cheers.